All right, before we're going to come back in just a second and talk
about churches.
Talk about churches in Canada in particular and pushing against this. But first, using a smartphone or computer opens the door to a host of digital temptations.
That's right.
In a world saturated with pornography and other harmful content like Canadian health information, what's a Christian to do? We need to take a proactive approach, welcoming transparency in our digital media choices, and accountable to you makes that easy. It's the word accountable, the number 2, the word you, Y-O-U. Their accountability software shares detailed activity reports from all your devices and your kids' devices in real time to the accountability partners that you choose. With accountability in place, your family can effectively guard against temptations online and live with purity and integrity. Learn more and try it free today at accountable2you.com/FLF. Again, that's the word accountable, the number 2, the word you.com/FLF. That tells them we sent you.
Please. So I wanted to kind of just, on the first segment or the first half of the show, kind of just draw a little bit of parallel between how the U.S. and our doctors and our Fauci's talking and how their Fauci's talking about what's going on. Now, but what's the interesting thing about Canada, and I just don't think Americans understand in some sense how bad it is. Now, we watched the truck driver convoy.
Yeah.
We watched the horse trample the lady and the truck driver.
Well, even before that, we saw what you guys were going through just as trying to have police come into your churches.
No,
but most churches don't know.
Right.
But that's my point. Is most Americans don't know and are still apathetic about it.
Well,
what's going on?
They put that fence around what's his name's church?
James Coates Church.
2 fences.
And
An
Jacob
inner fence and an outer
Rail-
fence.
And Jacob
They
Rail's
changed
church.
the locks in his church, and then they wouldn't let him in.
New tabernacle.
But
inner and outer
And it was
courts.
a veil too. They actually hung a tarp over the inner fence so you couldn't see. So they did have their curtain as well.
Holy of Holies.
Right.
That's amazing. So, but what I wanted to kind of get into, what's going on with the churches, because it all looks like Canada's going to lock down again in the fall. I mean, that's
right.
Oh my
and that's what they're.
So my goodness.
So they're talking.
I can't be in Canada.
So our doctors are talking.
You can't because you don't have the jab. You literally can't be in Canada. They won't allow non-citizens in.
I've mentioned this a number of times, but I'm just going to keep saying it because that video that went one of the earliest videos when the lockdowns were happening that fall 2020, and there was that kid skating outside on an ice skating rink, and there's a lady cop trying to chase him down, and everybody's watching him on a camera. That's when I knew Canada was done. You can't even ice skate alone outside. Yeah. And you're going to let the lady cop tackle him and you're just watching? Like that, you guys are done. Canada's done. You can't ice skate.
And yet, Andrew, you're still there.
I'm still there. So before I figured I would bring you guys some gifts from a foreign land.
Oh.
Do they have any tracking devices on them?
Are they chipped?
Unless they... We'll find out. We're gonna find out in 6 months, that's for sure. But I figured I'd bring you guys some stuff,
yes,
so I
sir.
brought it. I brought it in a nice bag.
Oh, it's a Canadian bag.
It's a Canadian bag.
Yeah.
All right, you can take the bag with you though.
That is not a good host.
All right, so
All right.
what do we got? Okay, so for Knox, this is for you.
Oh,
Maple
There
Leaf.
we go.
Maple Leaf.
Canada.
Toby,
We can do this.
this you mount this on your wall, and that's a bottle cap remover.
That's pretty
Right?
sweet. That's
So
pretty
Gabe,
sweet.
I thought Gabe.
Oh, homie.
Oh, look at you.
The camo.
I'm
Hold on,
going-
it gets better.
Canadians are allowed to wear camo?
Yep. Okay, so this is special. You guys have Smarties down here, right? Smarties.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is the real Smarties. Okay?
Really?
These are the real Smarties.
Smarties.
So basically, think about M&Ms, but better.
And you didn't pull these out with my coffee?
These are the real Smarties. All right, hold on. We're almost done.
Okay, Smarties.
That's not possible.
Look at how they smell. Smarties.
Right.
But it's like
precious.
they're like M&Ms. You're saying,
Right, they're like M&Ms, but your Smarties we call rockets.
You sure
The
these
little
ain't poison?
candies.
Oh, and you call M&Ms
Right?
Smarties.
They're not poison?
No, because M&Ms are dark chocolate. This is milk chocolate. So this is like
Melt your mouth, not
so
your
good.
hands.
All right, so this isn't from Canada, but this is from my bud. So I gotta rep my boy Reed B. Versus. He's a Christian hip hop artist, and he gave me some discs to give to you guys.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're into hip hop. Maybe not.
How am I supposed to play these?
I have two. You guys can fight over them.
Oh, okay.
I wore the
There
shirt
you go.
too. If anyone sees,
I need the
Sky
MP3
Dreamers.
version.
Sky Dreamers. That's his clothing line.
Okay.
I had to give him a shout out. Doug Rogers is a good dude.
How do you find out information? People want to find out about them.
So you can find him, Reed B. Versus on Facebook or Sky Dreaming, skydreamers.com, skydreamersapparel.com.
B versus.
I
So
know
now
what I'm
here,
listening to on the way home.
this is the real.
Here's the real.
Okay, here's
Okay,
the.
so this is maple syrup,
Whoa.
tapped from maple trees just north of Kingston.
So this is right out of the tree.
This is right out of the tree. This is from McAndrews Maple Farm, just north of Kingston.
You
This is the real deal,
got one of
boys.
those for
Yes,
both of us?
Jesus.
Oh,
Thank
Both of
you.
you. I got 3 in here.
Oh,
You
no.
guys-
Oh, we all got
Yeah,
even
yeah.
better.
I was just talking about me and Knox.
on.
I wasn't going to give any to Gabe.
It's gonna be a triple blessing, not just a double
Look
blessing.
at
A
that.
triple blessing.
Ooh,
That's
Is,
like
is there like a good way of mixing alcohol with this? Because I feel like they need
You don't
to go
want to
together.
cut this with nothing, man.
No, I feel like
Nothing.
I want to figure it out.
This is like already full of the spirit.
Yeah.
Just straight out of the tree.
So this is toward the end, so it's a little bit darker. It's toward the end of the season.
okay.
Does that mean it's better or?
It's all good. It's,
Okay, all right.
it's a little darker, a little richer. So I figured I'd bring some Canada to you guys because
man.
Thank
you
you.
might never be able to come to my country. So
True.
Man.
enjoy.
So is this a buddy's farm?
Yeah, so a guy that I used to work with, he has
Mm-hmm.
a ton of acreage and maple trees everywhere, and so he does his own stuff. I mean, I don't want to convert it to gallons, but basically, like buckets and buckets and buckets of maple
excited.
syrup.
So, like when you baptize babies in Canada, do you
It's
use
maple
do you use
syrup.
maple syrup?
Right, yeah, and then like with the gravy from poutines. Right, we do that too.
God, just
Yeah.
checking.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, talk to us, Andrew.
back to the serious stuff.
You've been. I'm going to read your bio actually while we're finishing this. So, you're the teaching elder at Encounter Church in Kingston, Ontario, and the director of operations for the Liberty Coalition in Canada.
Yep.
How I know with the Liberty Coalition in particular, that's kind of a network where you're trying to link arms with other like-minded believers who believe in Christian freedom, the authority of Christ over all. How's that work going? Give us an update.
So we knew that this was coming.
Yeah.
Like we've been talking on Signal, we've been chatting. We knew that this was the play. We knew that this wasn't over. We knew that this reprieve was just a short-term thing, and everyone else is like, "Oh, everything's back to normal."
You mean like a new lockdown, a new phase?
Oh yeah,
a
we
new-
knew that it was going to be waves and waves, and we're calling it too. Always the fall,
Yeah.
always around Christmas, always around the hottest time of the summer
Okay.
when everyone's inside. So we've seen this coming.
Okay.
So basically, what we're doing is we're trying to not only encourage one another, these churches are trying to equip one another, and so I was talking with Knox about this earlier. I never anticipated that getting into pastoral ministry would go to the point where we'd have to really think about self-sustaining community gardens, doing our own gardening and farming.
You guys are there right now.
Oh yeah, we're there. People like serious talks about
Wow.
coming together to buy plots of land where you have your individual acreage and then you have a shared stuff for hunting.
Yeah.
You know, talking about all the things we need to do to not be as monitored. Bank accounts were frozen during the convoy.
Yep.
There was some information released recently that just skated under, but basically the Canadian government tracked the location of over 30 million cell phones for the COVID pandemic. There are 33 million people in Canada. You do the math. That's everyone.
Yep.
So all this information's coming out. And so what we've been trying to do as churches is get ready.
And all these cell phone companies hand over that data.
Right. So we're trying to
Right.
prepare. We're trying to encourage each other. We're
Right.
trying to think about how we can be ready
Right.
to thrive.
You know what that sounds like when you just start talking about that? It reminds me of the Pilgrims, leaving Great Britain, and going
With
to
their cell phones across the ocean. Is that what it reminds you of? Yeah.
No, not that part.
Okay.
The part about trying to find freedom.
Yep.
The part about like being willing to like basically say we're going to go into a frontier where there's nothing
Yeah.
settled, no civilization, and take care of ourselves, provide for ourselves,
Yep.
so we can have the freedom to worship God. That's what they did. At first, they went to the Netherlands. They tried it for a few years there. It didn't work out well, and then they came back, found somebody that would take them across, and come over and found Plymouth Plantation.
Yeah.
But I'm just it's in a, not as nearly and maybe you're not quite on the grand scale as them yet, but the whole idea of like creating a little plantation, like
Right.
a little like you're gonna have a little city, a community where you're trying to provide for yourselves, take care of yourselves, so you're not dependent on the outside world, and hopefully also have a little more privacy.
And we're talking about homeschool co-ops to start, but we're all talking about classical Christian schools.
Amen.
And it's not just about because government indoctrination centers are no place to send your kids, and they're not.
That's right.
But what we're talking about is if they're going to crack down on homeschooling,
Yeah.
which they're going to do,
Right.
and if they're going to start tracking and are your kids vaccinated? We know you have 3 kids. Are they vaccinated?
Right.
Why not?
Right.
Well, say we homeschool and we social distance them.
Right. But it's really about safety too. It's about a place we can send kids. We can do life as a community, and not have to worry about the prying tyrannical arms or neighbors ratting you out.
Right.
Now, this is part of what I'm trying to get at here is that Americans largely don't know what's going on, and they still don't know what's going on the legal side of things. So Aaron Rock, he's on our network. He's got a podcast on our network. He's got all sorts of fines looming over him. Jacob Rayom, who's a good friend of ours of the show, he's got $9 million of fines waiting for him. The church has $50 million of fines waiting for him. Each elder has $3 million each
I think it's $1
per
million
elder
each, and so Jacob's $9 million and 9 years in prison in terms of maximum penalty. The elders are $1 million and 1 year in prison, and then the church is $50 million. That's maximum penalty. They may not get the maximum.
And
they might.
And this is for having church.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
For worshiping the Lord Jesus on the Lord's day in obedience to him and defying mandates.
For telling Caesar that he has no business telling the church how to worship Christ.
Right.
That's why.
Wow.
So,
man,
we're about to go backstage, and I'm wondering, why are you guys still there? Why still be in Canada? You know, and we'll answer that backstage, but I really want to know, because
That's mean.
No,
Yeah,
but you know, it's
sorry. You got to be club member.
I got to.
What?
Jesus commanded Canada to be taken.
Yeah, okay,
That's it. I'll go. All right, that's a good answer.
No, I mean it, because
What do you mean?
I know.
Disciple all the nations.
the Puritans fled.
Right. Not all of them, but
You know?
so I'll just say yes, but if certain people in England didn't stay, we'd have no Spurgeon, we'd have no Packer, we'd have no Martin Lloyd-Jones, we'd have no J.R. Stott. So the fact that they stayed,
Where's his organ?
right? The fact that these men stayed is the reason why there was a remnant in England, and the Lord raised up, we could all agree, some of the most influential evangelical leaders in the last 200 years, and we all benefit from these guys.
Yeah. And
we're all blessed by them.
And we could say the same thing about faithful states standing and staying in California,
Right.
in Washington, New York City, right? Washington, D.C.
That's right.
Not for everybody. Not everybody has the roots. Not everybody has the community. Not everybody has the...
But I think the principle is you stay if you have a good post and community to fight from.
God's giving you an assignment. Don't give up the assignment easily.
Now, that's not the answer to why. I'll answer why, but in terms of perspective,
That's how.
if everyone left, we wouldn't have them.
If you're single, get married. If you're married, have you some kids. If you have kids, go baptize them. Until tomorrow, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. And we are officially now in Backstage.
Home. It's where you build your legacy, where traditions are started, seeds are planted, meals are shared, and stories are told. We are Chris and Natalie Carpenter, owners of Story Real Estate, and our team of top agents helps people find homes in Moscow, Idaho, and around the country.
Have you thought about a move? Contact us to get connected with a top agent who shares your values and puts your family first. Or reach out to us about our Moscow relocation guide.
Wherever you're looking to go, we can help you find home. Call us at Story Real Estate or visit us at storyrealestate.com and start building your legacy.
Hi, I'm Robert Borton, CEO of Classical Conversations, the world's largest classical Christian homeschooling community. I'm launching a new podcast, Refining Rhetoric. If you like cross politics or just listen to hear what crazy stuff they're saying today, you will enjoy Refining Rhetoric. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform. I practice the 15 tools of learning by interviewing great guests, looking at current events, and talking about cryptocurrency.